For this dish, we're going to do a sauteed, a seared duck breast. We're going to serve that over some sauteed spinach, slightly wilted, and we're going to caramelize some onions for a contrasting flavor.
That sounds super good, super good. Can't wait to get started. But before we get started, tell us a little bit about Chef Larry. Where does he come from? What has Chef Larry done?
My wife and I have been in the restaurant business for quite some time. We were managing partners for Carrabba's Italian Grill most recently. And the truth is, we were ready to get out of the restaurant business. Came down to McAllen, opened a quaint wine shop and furniture store. Of course, here we are after a year of business.
Back in the kitchen.
Yeah, back in the kitchen. People, we did a few events and tasted some food out, and people were really enjoying it. We had some great feedback, so we decided to go in for ourselves, and here we are. Well, let's get started with some caramelized onions. This will take the longest for this dish, so we'll get it going and then move on to our next step.
Okay, so what are we doing with this onion?
So initially, we're just going to cut this in half here. What we want is some long strands of onion here. This is going to be part of the garnish to go on top of the duck. So.
Sure.
All right, so we'll just we'll heat up our skillet here. This is a real simple step. We're just going to add some red wine. About half a cup of red wine. We'll do equal parts of red wine vinegar and a little honey. For this dish, equal portions of each will work out. We're going to add a little pinch of salt. Stir this up and let this come to a boil here. Let all those liquids
blend
come
in.
One. Yeah. And once that starts to simmer, we'll add our onions and we'll leave it alone about 30 minutes.
So we're on to the duck here.
We move on to our duck. We have 2 duck breasts here. Duck isn't like chicken in the sense that we can still cook it to a medium rare or a medium, which I actually prefer. If you cook a duck well done, it tends to get a little rubbery. There's no salmonella in duck. Okay. So we can cook it to a medium rare, a nice medium, and you'll have a nice texture.
You'll be all right. Feel safe to eat.
Wonderful texture.
Okay.
So the first thing we do is, like you saw, trim up some of this fat here, and we just get some off the edges. Then we want to score the skin, and you don't cut all the way through. Just the skin. Just the skin. So when we sear it, that skin doesn't curl up. And I like my skin crispy, not only on duck but also chicken. So a good trick for achieving that is to salt the skin the day before.
Just a little salt.
Just a little salt. You put some salt on it, let it set in a refrigerator overnight. And what that does is it draws a lot of moisture out. So once you cook it, you can achieve that crispier skin.
Good tip.
All right. So we'll drizzle this with a little olive oil, and we're going to season this with what we call house salt. This is a secret blend. All right, so we're going to sear these duck breasts. We've got a pan that's been warming up over here. Our onions are looking great. We'll just give those a little stir and then leave them alone. We'll get some olive oil in our pan. I'm using a cast iron skillet today. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be a cast iron skillet, but I like this because it's dense metal and it provides an even distribution of heat. We're just going to lay these in.
The metal does make a difference.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. If you have a pan with the real thin metal, you run the risk of scorching your food. So we have a low flame here. We're going to set this down with the skin side down. Oh, that sound is magic. And we're going to let those cook. So our duck's down. We're going to let that sear, and we'll get started on our vegetable for the plate. Okay. So I'm going to give you something easy because I've heard a few rumors here. All I want you to do here is clean off some of these stems. Okay. You get a long stem on some of the spinach, and it tends to give your dish a little bit of a bitter flavor.
So I don't get to do anything with a knife today?
Well, I'll tell you what, if you'd like, what we also need is some sliced garlic. So if you can get all of this done in 30 seconds, that'd be your job. 30
seconds? Can you do like a fast speed on the camera there?
So we'll switch. You can do that, and I'll do this. You give me some time to look good in front of the camera. That's going to go in some olive oil, and we've got some sliced almonds that are going to go in there also.
I see that you brought a picture with you today. Tell me about that picture.
Oh, that's a good one, isn't it? That picture is actually my mom's kitchen.
And that's you.
That's me. That's me. I used to beg my mother. If you notice in there, I'm standing up on a stool or a chair right in front of her stove. I'd stand up there and beg her to let me pour the ingredients into the meal. So I'd just hold my hands out, throw it in, and you know, it made me feel like I was cooking. And I always got a great sense of pride when I look around the table and see everybody smiling because of something that you know, my mom made, but I helped with. If you ask my sisters, I think some of them resent that a little bit. I hogged up all my mom's time in the kitchen. But that was it. That's when it all started. My love for food, love for the kitchen, and I just kind of ran with it from there.
How old were you when?
I think I'm probably 5 years old.
5 years old, and you're already over the stove.
Yeah, that's probably some carne guisada or something like that. But you know, that's how it all got going.
Yeah, good memories, man.
All right, so we've got all the garlic sliced up. Looks pretty good.
I hope you're impressed by my slicing skills.
I do remember my first time. We've got some, our baby spinach is already cleaned up. We're going to flip this duck. We're at the halfway point.
Well, it sounds like it's a good time to take a break while we do all this.
Sure, you bet. Oh, when we come back, we put it all together and plate it.
Great. Don't go away, guys. We'll be right back.